Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over The Flash 717, which aired tonight according to time of this recording. If you have not seen the episode, click off now. This is spoilers for the episode. So go watch it, come back, watch this video. If you enjoy, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new, thanks for the support, and enjoy this video. So the episode pretty much started off in 2049. It was like a flashback kind of 2049, where Nora's chasing Godspeed throughout the city. I didn't really understand what Godspeed was saying. I don't know if this is because I didn't have my TV loud enough or what, but I couldn't understand what he was saying at all. But we saw Nora use a kind of new power that we've never seen Speedsters use before, which is a lightning lasso that he used against Godspeed. And then she used something to knock him out for like a couple seconds. And then Bart came in, actually phased through Godspeed. Which I think Nora said could damage Bart and Godspeed at the same time if he's not careful, which he really wasn't, but it didn't damage Bart, luckily. But it can mess with some speedsters if they do that. Which was interesting to find out, because they never said that before, which also kind of ruined something else in the episode, which I'll get into in a minute, which is just bad writing, from my understanding, but yep. Then Godspeed went to the Flash Museum and used the Cosmic Treadmill, ran to 2021, which is the timeline we're in, and Nora and Bart followed him. So that doesn't really explain why they waited so many weeks to show up. Like, where the hell were they for the past couple weeks? They decided to stay hidden and watch what's happening? Like, that doesn't, I don't know. But there's kind of a plot hole there. Just them not really saying what they were doing for several weeks. Like, they just showed up. The Godspeed War has been going on for a couple weeks. And they just now show up. Like, if they showed up earlier, then it probably could have been prevented. But this is a TV show, and the writing has been crap this season. So I guess it makes sense. Yes, I just wanted a little rant right there. I'm going to be honest with you. This episode, compared to 702 or 715 or 716, it's below those three. I did not give a crap at all about this episode. At all. I don't know if it's just me or what, but this episode could have been so much better if the writing actually made sense. I like 714 probably better than this episode. Just saying. I love 714, but if I had to rank it, 717 would be below 714, 702, and 715, 716. Just saying. So, yeah. That's just because I've been keeping a really close eye on the episodes lately to see if they're going to do anything messing up. Sure enough, they did. So, if it sounds like I'm hating on the show, you can take it that way. But this episode was not the best. It didn't feel like a finale when it really should have. This is part 1 or 2 of the finale. It should have felt like a finale. It did not feel like a finale for me. And while it's the 150th, they introduced like 3 plot holes in one episode that they're not going to explain at all, which we know they're not. And it really just looks like they're going to make another plot hole next episode, which I'll get into in a minute. But anyways, Nora and Bart end up telling Team Flash all this and told Chester that Chester was helping Bart and Nora in the future, both on Team Flash and with school homework with Bart, which was interesting to find out, and also it was a cool thing to tie in, knowing that Chester is still there in the future for Team Flash, or Nora and Bart at least. So yeah. Nora wanted to go back to 2049 to protect the timeline, which is really different from the Nora we saw in Season 5, who just risked everything. Season 5. But you can see Nora really is different now. Like, she's more careful with what she's doing. But Barry told Nora and Bart that they need to stay there to help stop Godspeed, so otherwise it's just going to be hell. Which is true. They were going to try to use the MAD 2.0 to get August Hart's, the real August Hart memories back. Didn't end up working, so they're going to go with something else. I'll get into that in a minute. Chester's working on a device to stop the Godspeed, so I had to use Allegra's energy to power it up. But yeah, I think Barry ended up using his powers, and it ended up going sideways because there was Speed Force energy, and the Godspeeds were siphoning Speed Force energy. So when it hit them, it didn't help anything. Future Barry and Iris told Bart and Nora XS about Nora Allen, the Speed Force, I think they were saying. And I think they also said that Bart and XS can kind of feel her, like her presence with them, which makes sense because of the Speed Force. And also, spoiler alert, she's in 718. So, it won't be anything new, I guess. Then it cut to the Godspeeds fighting each other again. Barry, Nora, and Bart showed up. And Bart said he wanted the Godspeeds to kill each other. Like, he said, I hope that they can just kill each other. Which, you would think if Barry, especially if Barry, was alive in the future, he would have taught Bart that killing, let alone letting someone kill someone, isn't good enough. So, I can't imagine if Barry was alive from where they're from, if Barry wouldn't have taught Bart that. Or even Jay, which we know was alive for a big part of Bart's life, which I'll get into in a minute in that storyline. But this has to mean that Barry wasn't alive. I don't see Barry, let alone Iris, being alive in the future and not teaching Bart that killing is not good. Like, at all. I know he didn't kill someone, but letting someone kill someone else, no matter how bad they are, that's like superhero 101. You don't let them do that. Like, that's or whatever. But that's also a plot hole, which kind of annoyed me a little bit. But all the Godspeeds started following Bart, and they called Bart his adversary. So it kind of led into Bart and Nora keeping secrets from Barry, which he then later press in the next scene. And Bart called Godspeed his Thawne, which kind of pissed Barry off, which why wouldn't it? Trying to tell Bart that he has no idea what Thawne actually did to Barry, so that's not even close. And Bart said he knows what he's talking about. So we kind of put two and together that something horrible happened to Bart, someone close to him, that was closer than, like, Nora losing her friend to Godspeed, which still happened in this timeline. Like she did in season 5 in that flash forward to 2049 when Nora lost her friend to Godspeed. It was worse than that. So I think I was speculating that future Iris died to Godspeed, or maybe Barry did in the future. But we found out in a couple minutes who did. Then it went to Kramer and Joe, and they were in Midway City. I kind of wish I didn't put this in there, but whatever. Kramer ended up not telling the whole story to an agent they were talking to in Midway City. Then it goes to the Time Vault, and Gideon said that Wally wasn't available to come help with the Godspeed War because he was doing some spiritual crap at the Speed Force. So then Iris came back, and Iris saw everything else going on to the Still Force. Dion let Iris see what's going on, so she knew right away that Bart and Nora were back, or there, I guess. We found out Nora's 26 years old, and Bart is 19. Which, if you do your math, you'll know that Nora will be born in 2023. Kind of speculating, and kind of means that there will be a season 9 of The Flash. This isn't confirmed, but if they really want to go down the storyline of Nora being born in 2023, season 9 would be the season to do that. So, yeah, just assume this is season 9. They teased it, let's just be real, they're doing it. Which I think was a good thing to put in, because obviously with everything going on with people saying season 8 is going to be the last season, this might confirm that there'll be a season 9, or at least that Grain is still working on season 9. Barry end up getting worried that the Godspeeds will kill Bart for real, since Bart called Godspeed his Thawne, and Thawne's been trying to kill Barry for the past 7 years. So, or whenever he shows up. So yeah, Jay and Joanne Garrick are in Keystone City, and they are on Earth Prime, so they end up there. Jay got his speed back when the Speed Force is reborn, which is really cool to know. Which also means that Wally got his speed back, which I know people were like, "Why don't you mention Wally?" There you go. We end up learning that Bart loses cool around Godspeed, similar to the way Barry does around Thawne, which I thought was a really good thing to put in, because concerning Bart called Godspeed his Thawne, which, again, I think was good for them to say that, because Barry loses cool around Thawne. It wouldn't really make sense if Bart didn't around Godspeed. So, yeah, that was a good thing they put in. We learned that Godspeed killed Uncle Jay, aka Jay Garrick, is the one they're talking about, in front of Bart. So that's why Bart's calling Godspeed his Thawne, because while it wasn't Iris, Bart's mother, like Barry's mother was, it was Jay, murdered in front of Bart when he was younger, and he's been chasing Godspeed ever since. So that's that connection. Nora didn't want Bart to tell Barry and Iris about what Godspeed did to Jay in the future. They still didn't. They kind of name dropped it a little bit by mentioning that Godspeed only goes to the people they care about. So yeah. Nora ended up luring the Godspeeds to the device, and like I said earlier, it didn't go well because it was Barry's energy, not Allegra's energy, so it kind of backfired. They didn't dampen their speed or anything. Allegra ended up telling Chester that Ultraviolet died, and then it went to Barry believing that tragedy follows their family everywhere, which it kind of does. I mean, you look at Bart, Nora, what their timeline is. Losing Jay, Nora losing her friend to Godspeed. Losing Jay to Godspeed. God knows how many other people they've lost in the future to that. Also, with Barry losing his mother, Iris, you know, everything. It just follows them everywhere, and I think Barry's right about that. But then they mentioned that if they stop the Godspeeds here, August Hart will never get his speed, which could change the future, could bring back Jay in the future, could bring back all of that, but it's basically going to create another Flashpoint probably, or change everything up like it always does, so, you know. But they didn't mention it this episode, but they mentioned it when Barry wanted to go to the future to see Nora. But if you stop a big bad, that's going to change the whole timeline. Again, plot hole. Why bring it up? I don't know, but whatever. It made sense in last episode to do it. Why was it mentioned this episode? I don't know. Just horrible writing. Again, horrible writing. Vibin was showing up at the end of the episode. Pretty much helping Barry, Nora, Bart, and Jay. We saw Barry being on the phase through Godspeed's like vibrational force thing. I don't know if he just now learned that he could, but why he didn't do that when all the Godspeeds were attacking him, I don't know. But again, plot hole, because he nearly got killed 2 times. Nora went comatose, and so did Barry, or Bart, when they used that attack on him. So, why didn't Barry use his speed when he literally used his speed when Godspeed was in that ability? I don't know. Or why he didn't think to phase through it before? Again, just horrible writing. That's what kind of brought the episode down in ranking for me. Because there was just so many scenes where it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you've had Barry go up against Godspeed several times by now. You've had Godspeed use that exact ability that Barry phased through so many times by now. And it took him till now to figure out that he could phase through it and use his powers through it. No. That could have been figured out last episode, the episode before. Hell, even season 6, it could have been figured out. Like, again, horrible writing, which is driving me nuts throughout this whole episode. And then we learned that Bart went to a coma for the rest of the episode, which is like a quarter away towards the end. Barry and abusing the trick that Bart did in the future on Godspeed, in the present when going up against Godspeed in that church or whatever. Dig ended up filling Cisco in on what was going on in Central City. That was Diggle's name dropped. He wasn't actually in the episode. That's why Cisco came back and helped. They used the device, but it's only limited. They don't have a bunch of it left in Cisco's gadgets or whatever. Barry wanted to use the device he used in 602 when Barry projected his mind through to the future to find out what happened with Crisis. They want to use that to get into Hart's mind, which ended up working. And yeah. Joe and Kramer came back to Central City, and just everyone was trying to leave the city because of the Godspeed War. Now remember, Joe and Kramer didn't know anything what was going on in the city with the Godspeed War or Godspeeds in general. And it ended up two Godspeeds randomly, magically, started fighting on top of Joe's car, entering the city. Okay? You try to comprehend that. But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. We did see the real August Hart in Hart's mind as Godspeed, so he'll probably be introduced again next episode. I think we know. If you don't want 718 spoilers, click off now. If you watch a promo, you can see Speed Force Nora is there, Jay, Bart, XS, Barry, and Iris as a speedster's there. So I think we all know how Iris is gonna get her speed. But yeah, that's, like I said in my last video over the promo breakdown, if they do a good job with Iris getting speed, it'll be a good finale. I think that one thing will define the finale. If they screw it up, it's not going to be good. But if they do a great job with Iris having speed, with Barry, Bart, Nora, Speed Force Nora, XS, and Jay all being there, and Speedster Iris being there, they can do a great job. But it's really up to how they play it off, how they write it, which concerning this episode, not very well, for some scenes. I guess we'll have to see. But yeah. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.